Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome to some Flight Sim World. And today we're going to be flying in Haiti. Well, at least I am. I don't know if you are. If you're watching, feel free to join in. I'm going to open up the server in a moment. These are my display settings. As I said before, I like to keep the aircraft on low. This does turn off shadows, but depending on how many aircraft are actually, being rendered on screen at the time, it does keep the frame rate a little more reasonable. Hopefully, like I said before, this will get fixed. They'll create a more aggressive LOD for this kind of thing. What am I doing? Multiplayer, that's right. So, let's create a flight, shall we? Me, I'm going to be in my Cub. And let's set a nice sunny day. And we'll set it to 5 o'clock in the evening. Actually, let's set it to 6 o'clock in the evening. Why not? Weather conditions, visibility 40, precipitation clouds, none, wind speed, light from the northeast. Sounds good to me. Yep. I'll keep that. Now we've got to go hunting. Oh, you know what? I could just type in the code, couldn't I? MTJA. A? There we go. So, my route, I want to fly through here. And into there. Ah, man, I hate having a headache. Although I'm lucky, I've only ever had one migraine. Not pleasant. Headaches, I can live with. After that, I was like, yeah, headaches, I'll take. Yep, so, confirm. I've got to remember how to do this. Mr. Oh, no. Password. No. There we go. Because I've got collisions turned off. Because I know there are people out there that like to try and troll you and fly into you. Not happening. Okay, so. Server's coming up.
Sweet.
So again, I'm flying with some of the FSW break crowd. Actually, I think there's only one at the moment. But you never know. It may pick up, it may not. So technically I have to fly slightly northeast. Technically I'm flying into the wind, aren't I? Well, poo, that was a stupid... Oh well. It'll be funny. Ugh. Got my tea ready. So, I don't know if you've been checking out the forums or anything, but Just Flight have announced that they are going to be releasing an aircraft for Flight Sim World shortly. It's a Piper. There's no glass cockpit, which is unsurprising because from what I understand, Dovetail's still working on that aspect. From what I understand. I'm just going to get off the runway here.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Come on. Off the runway. There we go. I think my rudder pedals are working properly. Nope, they're working good. So that's my joystick. It's my rudder pedals. My joystick is a bit... sensitivity is a bit high on it, I think. So I'm just going to chill here for... no. Yeah, I'm just going to chill here for a couple of minutes. You know, see how many people want to join in this flight. So probably about 5 or 10 minutes we'll take off.
Works for me.
Or at least I will.
Thanks for doing this.
There we go. My frame rate's a little jumpy for some reason. Bit odd. Oh well, never mind. Yeah, so, what was I saying? Oh, Just Flight. We could easily turn around and say, hey, maybe Just Flight got their hands on the SDK. But I doubt that very much. With my experiments from other aircraft, pulling in if the aircraft basically has dials instead of any kind of glass cockpit, they usually import into Flight Sim World pretty easily. I think that the problem comes when you start trying to interact with the whole glass cockpit systems. So, yeah, you know what? It's entirely possible that Just Flight don't have the SDK. So, you know, until somebody actually confirms that the SDK has been released, let's kind of keep a lid on that, you know. We don't want this hype train getting out of control like it did with No Man's Sky. So a little bit of information. The airport we're going to is MTPP. The VOR there is PAP, and it's at 115.3. Nice. A little bouncy, but that's usually how I land. Yeah, there's a couple of, I guess, what would you call it? Preliminary? Experimental would be a good word. There's a couple of experimental SDK builds out there, but again, they're experimental, and I'm sure Dovetail has said, look, you know, this stuff is okay. Try not to work too much with this stuff because we're still, you know, tweaking it. So, you know, I completely understand what Steve has said in the past about, you know, handing out SDKs to third-party developers, and then having to tell them, hey, look, you know, we've made these changes, so if you've been working on this aspect of an aircraft, it's probably going to not work. So, so yeah, I completely understand Dovetail's caution behind handing out SDKs to everybody. Who is it? There's I'm sure Just Flight have an experimental one, Iris, and then there's A2A probably has a copy since they actually did work on some of the aircraft in this. And who's the other one? There was another developer that worked on some of these aircraft for Dovetail, and I can't remember who they were. They're in the credits. If you look in the main menu, somewhere buried in the main menu, there's the credits section. If you click on that and watch it scroll towards the bottom, you'll see the external developers that assisted with some of these aircraft. So the weather's set up. It's supposed to be a sunny day. We've got a northeasterly breeze, a nice light wind, not the 30-knot gale like I used last time. Cool. Because flying with no wind is boring. Actually, you know what? After the live stream last week, I told myself I was going to do some more experiments with the weather inside the game engine. See if I could adjust live through missions, adjust the weather settings, like adjust the distance, the fog, and the wind direction and speed. And I never actually got around to doing it. From what I understand, Fly Inside hooks into SimConnect, I believe.
Started me in the air.
At least as far as I remember, that's how they were working it with P3D. Because, you know...
Yeah, same here.
Because getting the overlay, that's the easy bit. Getting the headset to talk to the sim, so when you turn, you know, it turns. I mean, I got my Vive working in Flight Sim World by linking it to the mouse view. So when you turn your head, the mouse view turns in the cockpit. The problem with that is, you know, it doesn't track up and down and forwards and backwards or tilt. So all you can do is like do this. It's like you've got a neck brace on when you're flying. Ow! So you're doing this in the cockpit. It's a little annoying, but alright, it's about 10 past, so I think I'm going to start my journey. As soon as I remember which button gets me back into the cockpit. That one! That's the one! I'm going to trundle out onto the runway. Should look for incoming echo. Oh, I can't see anything out that way. Oh well. We'll just hope that nobody's landing. And away we go. Uh-oh. Hey, Captain P has joined the flight. And we are up. That was easy. I forgot how...
Alright, you got me. I'm Johnny.
I forgot how quickly... Reaper 1 as well. Welcome to the flight.
We just took off.
Okay.
Headed north at whatever altitude you want to. Wow. There's a lot of trees around here. So what I'm going to do is try and follow that valley over there. Did I really just point my head towards it? Follow this valley along here. Wait. Yes, the mouse does show up, okay. Dubara! Welcome to the server. Like I said, this is like a 25-30 nautical mile journey. Just wanna... I can't remember the height of the hills over there. I'm gonna go with high.
And I'm in. There we go.
There we go. That looks like a good spot right there. Alright, well. Good thing about the Cub is it's seat of your pants flying. None of that GPS nonsense. One thing I always do is fly with the auto mixture enabled because I never get that right. Never. In P3D I've crashed more times because I've leaned up my mixture and then forgotten to adjust it again later on. And it's like the last thing on your mind when something starts to go wrong and you're like, what's going on? I don't understand. Why am I losing power? Fly into the side of a hill, and then after you crash you go, oh yeah, mixture. So there's supposed to be a river down there somewhere. So I'm just going to head that way, like I said, kind of a northeasterly kind of direction, I believe. Actually, if I get too far into the hills, it means I've gone too far. Nice leisurely flight. I'll take her up a bit higher, I think. Well, I'm going to need to clear those hills, aren't I? You know, the other day I was trying to think about all the different flight simulators I've played over the years, and there was one that I cannot remember the name of. It was on my Atari STE, and it let you create the aircraft from scratch. You could build the flight model, you could build the 3D model, you could map out the wing shapes, so you know the dynamics were being calculated over the cross section of the wing that you created, and you could populate the world with various different pieces of scenery. Obviously, being that it was on an Atari STE, the world was very blocky to begin with, but you could insert bits of scenery that came in a library on a separate disk. And one of the really cool things about it was it had the ability to shoot. You could fire missiles in this thing if you put them on your aircraft. And it calculated collision between the missile and the scenery. And I always put like the Houses of Parliament on in the London area. And when you shot it, because it tried to calculate everything falling apart, the frame rate would go from probably 20 down to 1 or 2. And I've been trying desperately to remember. Oh, the moon is up. To remember what that was called, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was. I think it was Combat something or other. No, it wasn't a Sublogic product. It's very pretty. Apart from those lines in the landscape there. I want to take care of that dovetail. It's a bit weird. Actually, that's Orbix, isn't it? See, now that looks pretty. Alright, we're starting to get kind of high now, so we'll nose this over a little bit. Got the itchies again.
Oh, quite some clouds here. I'll stay below them.
Yeah, there's a couple of clouds dotted about here and there, but it's supposed to be on like sunny days, so not too many. But I did change the visibility to 40 nautical miles.
Okay. It's just a few clusters.
I can't get to the. There we go. What do I want? 15.3. There we go. That didn't really help a lot because I haven't actually recorded what the heading is that I need. Oh well. Now we're looking pretty. Okay, so I'm going to nose this over a little bit because we are now climbing a bit too much. Oops. Wonderful piece of the world, though. As I've been wandering around in Google Earth, I've been looking at various different countries and places to fly, and you really can't rule anywhere out just because of what country it is. I mean, I think I've said it before, I enjoy flying in America and England, but some of the more spectacular sceneries are definitely in some of these more remote places, like Guinea and Haiti, apparently. There's some gorgeous canyons in Brazil, and I think Venezuela has some pretty cool stuff as well. So looking at my compass there, my radio compass, I know that the VOR, is it a VOR? Yeah, is still on my right. Since that little line is indicating, hey, it's on the right hand side. Actually, what I should do, set that to north, there we go. So I should, now I've got this vaguely trimmed out, I think I'm still climbing slightly. Nope, 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 I'm losing a little bit of altitude now. Man, this thing's difficult to trim in. Whew. I hear farting behind me, and it's not the dog. She's not in the room this time. Hey! Oh my god. Who have we got here? I can't read those. Oh. Oh, somebody just logged out. Kaiser. Captain B. Whoever that is. Why am I moving my head around to read these? Ah, Theo. And then finally, who's that? He's just gone into the shadows there. Ah. What a fun group of people. See, this is what multiplayer is all about. Just having fun with a group of other strange individuals. And then when you turn around and you find them behind you. That's a great view, though. So you guys should see the airport coming up about 2 o'clock on the right. 2 o'clock is on the right. They're very quiet today. Maybe I got locked out of the server. it a full moon tonight? I think it's a full moon yet, is it?
Okay.
Hey!
That was quite a big cloud.
Ooh! Now that's pretty. Not really digging the whole it's snowing under the cloud thing, but they'll figure that out.
Oh no. It looks so gorgeous.
What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's at least 4 people there.
Yeah, I love dusk flights.
Yep.
Yeah, I understand why they did it, but I wish it wouldn't default to noon, because you know, you lose all that lovely shadowing on the landscape.
Yeah.
The moon's up too if you look the other way.
No, looks like there's some clouds hanging over the airport. Fantastic. Isn't that just typical? All this time and I still haven't changed my tail number.
There's so much more details to it when you see the nice scenery shadows and the sun was hanging low.
I left my tea bag in my cup. I think it's gone from steeping to stewing.
The cockpits look so neat too.
Oh yeah, cockpit shadowing, cockpit reflections. That's great.
Cockpit.
Cockpit shadowing really looks lifelike. Oh, I see the airport.
How close are they? There they are. Now I wonder if I can... Nah, you know, this thing's not built for acrobatics. If you do too much with this. It's got a gravity fed carb.
I
So
seem
if
to
you
always bounce the
do
tub
too
every
much,
time I land.
the fuel doesn't reach the engine and the engine starts to cut out. Ask me how I found out.
Trick is to almost stall it when right before touchdown.
Oh, okay, right.
That was actually a little too much. So I'm just going to kind of spiral down. Well, since I've got crashes turned off, I'm sure it probably could, but... when you try and do loops is where things get really hairy. Or flying inverted, that's even more fun. The challenge was actually to fly inverted in a cub under a bridge. I think I spent about an hour and a half trying to pull that off. Can't do it. Even doing a dive at the bridge and then flipping over and trying to pull up on the other side, you lose so much power so quickly as you pull up, and of course the motor's just barely ticking over at that point. That, yeah, no, it's not a thing. It was a shame because it would have made a really good screenshot. One to send off to Dovetail, in fact, and say, hey, can you guys do this? So something to note, as I, for obviously for all of you new people to Flight Sim World, or rather virtual flying, as I approach the airport, if you watch my radio nav, or my radio compass down here, before I hit the threshold, you'll watch this needle swing over as I pass across the VOR. It is a VOR, right? Yeah, it's a VOR, it's not an NDB. What's happening is I'm passing across the where I've got the compass set. So as I pass across it on the north,
there you are.
Angle to it, the needle should swing over and say, hey, it's now behind you on the left instead of in front of you on the right. Ooh! Sun's up. Okay, Tim. Welcome to the server. I should be banking quite a bit there. Actually, that said, it's worth checking out Wiki or some other source on how NDBs and VORs actually work. Because when you understand how they work, you understand better how radio navigation works. Trust me, for the longest time I was like, I don't understand how this functions, or setting this up, why does it do that? But when I read the how it functions or how it works stuff, I was like, see, now it makes more sense to me. I think the explanation that it was that the VOR is like a lighthouse, but each degree has its own little window slit. That's a window slit, and as the light passes through that slit, it's filtered in through different symbols or whatever. So at 1 degree there's one little dot in the slit, and at 2 degrees there's 2 little dots in the slit. So anytime you look at the lighthouse, you can tell what angle it is from you. I'm just going to fly around now for a little while and then land, and that's about it. This actually was a lot shorter of a flight than I thought, even for a Cub.
Yeah.
Let's fly external for a little while. How badly can I screw that up? Don't challenge me. That's pretty cool. I bet you can't land on that. Yeah, I'm not sure we can land on that boat.
Oh yeah, nice.
Actually, when they came up with a wish list of stuff, what you would like to see in Flight Sim World, I think one of the things I said was regional regional autogen. So buildings don't look the same all over the world, because they don't. Buildings in America don't quite.
I didn't look up where the flight was at. What country is this?
We're in Haiti.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, buildings in Russia generally don't
awesome.
quite look the same as they do in America, but if you go to other places like Africa, they look very different. I mean, they're still square, I guess, but it would be really cool to see some traditional, Asian buildings as well. I think that'd be interesting. Bit of an ask, though, I think. I think that's more of a dream than anything else. Or Italy. Definitely Italy. Italy has an extremely different kind of architectural feel to it than any other country. But again, like I said, I think that's more of a dream than anything else. Get that behind me. Alright, you know what? I'll get some altitude for this. I'm about to do something really stupid. Notice how that the radio nav has now changed as I passed the tail end of the or the front of the airport where the VOR is located. That needle swung over. Overspeed. Oops. Alright. See how the engine died because the carb lost fuel? Wow, looks like it's raining over there. Crazy. So one thing that Dovetail have been working on, or are aware of more than anything else, actually I think is the right word, is the night lighting. It's one thing that a lot of people have been talking about, and it's something that Dovetail are definitely listening to. Because of the render engine and the graphics, apparently it's a lot more complex to deal with than initially thought, because of the way that the world is built in layers. I thought that would actually be really easy, but apparently it's a little more tricky than just slapping on a filter. I mean, it works if you put on like Sweet FX or something like that, or Reshade or whatever. It works. It does lend a really nice glow to the night lighting. The problem is it also glows everything in the cockpit, which is a bit irritating, to be honest. But I always wanted that that halo that you see over major cities, well, especially in America. It's not really a halo, it's more like an artificial sun. But during the night, as you're flying at lower altitudes, when you're high up it's not so bad, but at lower altitudes you could see the light reflecting off all the dust and the crap in the atmosphere. Oh, this sucker doesn't have any lights on it, does it? Oh yeah, it does. Okay. So hang on, let's go back into the cockpit. There we go, that needle just swang right. Let me see if I can actually intersect that path. So I've got it set up for north, right? So what it's going to tell me is I need to fly directly at it. Okay, I think that's good. Very quickly look behind me before I fly into that mountainside. Okay. So now, if I bank and turn around again, that needle should swing over. And I should be able to get that needle when I find the VOR and I get lined up on it properly. I should be able to get that needle dead center in the radio compass. Should. Or not. I'm going to fly over it before I actually pick it up. Oh, well, never mind. Alright, the sun's going down. I think I'm going to go find the runway now and see if I can't bring this thing to a bouncy landing. Oh, look, I found the runway. Oh, there's people down already. Look at that. Oh, they beat me to it. How rude. Ah, Jack Nello has joined the server. Just in time to land. Kadem has left the game. That's very pretty. A little bit of an issue with the sun transitioning over the scenery there, causing that bright white line. But that's forgivable. Right, it's time to make like a stone. Tooltips. Hey, at least tooltips work in this. Remember what used to happen in FSX when the tooltips were on? Whew. Wow, that was bad. So you can see the lights are coming on in the scenery as the sun is setting. Captain P has also left the server. And those colors are really nice too. Oh, and he's back. I really hope as things change in the sim, the sunset colors, the dawn dusk text colors will change according to the weather that you're dealing with. Somewhere over there, there's an airport. Oh, look at that. Is it really worth flaps? I mean, yeah, I'll put some flaps on. I mean, it's not like I have a short runway to land on. And this thing can land on a dime. Quite literally. There's a fantastic video out there of one of these doing a landing in, I think it's Alaska. It just comes over a river, and the guy pulls the nose up, and it just plops onto the deck, like in a. Basically, it's a controlled stall, but it's incredible to watch. I mean, there's literally no rollout. The wheels touch the deck, and it's stationary. I can't even do that in a helicopter yet. Virtual helicopter, obviously not. No one will let me near a helicopter in real life. For good reason. I'm not a pilot. Somebody's playing virtual taxi cab, I think. Pay attention when landing. Things can go very bad very quickly. Oops. So there is a slight crosswind. You saw me setting it up, but it's not terrible.
What?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oops. Oops.
It's the acrobatic super cub.
Yep. It's lots of fun, but easy to misjudge.
There we go. And we're down. Of course, I can't see a damn thing. Let's stick our head out through the propeller and see what we can. There we go.
Looks clear, yeah. Okay, coming in for landing now. And this thing can turn on a dime.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find a taxiway to get off the runway.
It's like all the way at the other end almost. Look at the blue lights.
Good grief. It is. If I lean much further forward, I'll give myself a haircut. Through the propeller blades.
And there it bounced.
Now, if you're getting into Flight Sim World, I absolutely recommend that you spend a lot of time in the Cub. Mostly because it will teach you to fly much better than any other aircraft. And once you've mastered the Cub, you can transition into most other aircraft pretty easily. Stick flying wise, obviously. There we are. We're off the runway. Hey, this one actually has a tower. If you notice, the other airport had a trailer sitting on it. Uh-oh. Who the hell's taken off from... Oh my god. Oh, he's in a Vans. Okay. I was like, what's going on here? And... into the ground. Nice. Brakes on. There we go.
Thanks for hosting. It's dinner time for me.
Okay, enjoy.
Alright. Thanks for stopping by. Much appreciated. Well, that is that. This was actually a quicker flight than I anticipated, but it was actually still quite fun. I've got to say, I do like starting these flights at later in the day, towards dusk. It's certainly a lot more exciting. I can't wait for the weather system to get more tweaked. So, you know, as the sun goes down, the weather should change over time, right? You know, the air will cool off, blah 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 blah. You know, or maybe they'll just won't bother with that, and they'll have a live weather plug-in for a small fee. That would also be cool in my book. I have no problem with that, as long as it's not a sub. You know what I mean? I don't want to be paying like $5 a month for live weather. That would suck so bad. But if it was just a flat fee for a DLC, like, you know, $30 for a live weather plugin, that I'd be happy with. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the live stream for this time. Thanks for joining me. I hope it was at least mildly entertaining. Don't forget to hit that hit that like button if you had fun or it was mildly entertaining. And hello. Not sure what that was. Weird Steam update. Don't forget to subscribe for some more mildly interesting content and other games. Actually, I just got hold of Dark and Light, so that should be coming up soon. Anyway, for the minute, that's it. I'm going to go over here and see if I can find my outro. There we go. And until next time, I will see you anon.
Oh yeah, that flight was awesome.